It's Tuesday, April 28th, and the chickens are 11 weeks old today. They're kind of obsessed with bell peppers, so they'll fight over those. Ladies. Forgive the loud radio in the background. The house being built across the street has brick workers, and they like to listen to their radio really loud. I have a chicken on my head. I'm not sure if I'm in frame, but yeah, she's pecking at my head. Apparently, I've got lots of stuff on me today because chickens are all over. Hi, lady. Don't peck me in the eyeball. Mr. Knightley got his piece of pepper stolen from him, so he's decided to work on another one. All right, ladies, I have no food. Thank you. Yeah, this is the one that was on my shoulder 2 seconds ago. Hey, I got nothing. Go find the food that I put out. They're getting so big. Oh, I know what they're after. I'm wearing my painting pants, and I've got little specks of paint all over my pants, and they think it's food. It's not food. Hi. Do you like your close-up? They really like bell peppers. We have a local produce stand that always sells bags of produce that's about to go bad for $1, and so I go and buy the bags of bell peppers, and they are extremely thankful for that. It's so pretty out now that the leaves have all turned green. This one's decided to get really comfortable on my lap. Most of them have decided to go down to the back where the leaves are deep, and they love to scratch around back there to find bugs. There's Nugget. Hi, Nugget. Yep, that's Nugget. It's been a while since you pecked at the camera. Still a few weeks off from having eggs, but well, Nugget. So they're still freeloaders at the moment. the hens all look the same, so it's really hard to name them. But the roosters, this is Nugget. He was always a camera hog as a baby, and he was smaller than our other rooster, and his comb and wattles are definitely smaller. Here is Mr. Knightley, if he'll stay there for a second. And he's coming up. His comb and wattles are much larger, so they're really easy to tell apart. Although, even though Nugget was the smallest one to start with, I'm pretty sure he has outgrown Mr. Knightley now by a little bit. Body-wise, I think his body is a little bit larger. I mean, he's too far away right now to tell, but yeah, the roosters are the only ones that have the names. We went in with my daughter Sarah and bought some more that we'll be getting in a few weeks, and they are a breed called Whiting True Blue, and they do not all look the same, even though they're all the same kind of chicken, so they will be easier. There's the brothers next to each other. They will be easier to give names to because they all kind of look different. We're going to move on to the garden tour now, and we'll start over here by the chicken run. This planter here has the butterfly peas in it. They look like they got a little bit of damage to them, but I'm just going to keep my eye on them. They have not been growing well from the very beginning, so we're just going to keep an eye on them. The chia plant has filled in really nicely since being planted. My sunflowers are growing, and they've put on new leaves since last week. Other two. There's one there and one there. Oops, there it is. Here are our broccoli plants, and they are doing absolutely fantastic. They've grown so much. We had an immense amount of rain in the past few days, and the garden has really loved it. They're looking great. And then, just while we're here on the other side, the snap peas, getting big. Let's see if I can get perspective here. They're doing really well, and some of the ones, these are from this one, and this one here are from the little planter I had out last week. And then you can see right there in the middle that there is a new one coming up from the seeds I put in the ground. I'll stay back here for now. Cucumbers are growing new leaves here. I can see the new leaves on that one. These are the Chicago pickling. This is the Bait Alpha and the Armenian Yardlong. Then our noodle beans are doing really well over here. And then these are acorn squash, doing well, and I had a new one pop up I wasn't aware was there, so I'm going to actually have to pinch that one off because it's too close. These are the little personal size watermelon, and to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that these watermelons are doing okay. They haven't put off new leaves yet, and I don't know, to be honest, if that's normal or not. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on them. May have to put new seeds in before next week. The echinacea here are growing and putting on new leaves, so that's good. Lettuces, as usual, doing amazing, except for one head. This one right here, I pulled off some of the outer leaves hoping it would help, but it's not. I think that's just a bad plant. And then our kale is really growing here, so that's exciting too. I think the only thing I missed here was the kohlrabi, which is doing well. It had some bug pressure here. I might need to get out my neem oil actually and spray these, but some of them are doing really well. And then the Yodva broccoli back in the back is also getting bigger. Okay, the peas on this side of the trellis, this one's
grabbed on and is growing up well, and you can see that some of my seeds have popped through and are coming up, so we will have more pea plants here. The onions that you can see through the trellis are doing really well. They're getting a lot thicker, standing up, so that's exciting. All right, we'll go along the inside of this trellis. These are the cucamelons, and I am afraid I'm gonna have to stick more seeds in the ground. I can't really tell yet if these are putting off new leaves in the center or not, but they look pretty rough. I think maybe the nights have still been a little too cool for them. This is where it gets confusing. That one really looks like it's got a new leaf coming off in the middle, so I may just put seeds in the ground as insurance. But I think maybe they might have suffered from, even though it hasn't frosted, it's been in the 40s, and that might have been too much for them, or too little, I should say. Here's our noodle beans on this side. Lost one of those plants, but it was not a strong plant to begin with. This onion here has gotten huge. That's actually on the wrong side of the trellis there. There we go. Okay, these are the golden midgets. And again, these melons, I'm just not sure how they're doing. This one especially is really rough, so I may have to reseed these here. But the Kajari melons look like they're doing really well. And they do have new leaves started in the middle. All right, back side of this bed. The beets are coming up nice. There's some more over here. The salvia is doing okay. I'm not sure it's liked all the rain because it grows so low to the ground. I think I'm going to put a couple more zinnia seeds in the ground, but these are getting new leaves. But again, then every once in a while, there's been bug pressure on that one. This one's small but doing well. And the milkweed is doing well. And the chives are doing okay. If you can see them, it's kind of hard to see. Bee balm has grown and put off new leaves. And then down here, the turnips are doing really well. This is the purple top. And then this is the Chagoin, which is the white turnip. The bags that I have the beans growing in, doing really well. This is zucchini. It's got new growth on it, and I'll let you guys see why my dog almost didn't make it. One of the two reasons he almost didn't make it through this last week. That big divot there is from his feet. Don't know what got into him. The only reason I haven't filled it in is because I put seeds over here, a seed over here on the side, and I'm just kind of waiting to see if it pops up. It probably won't, but just in case he didn't destroy it, I didn't want to disturb the dirt anymore. The herb pool is doing well. Again, the chamomile is just huge. The sage has really taken off. And there's the rosemary, oregano, and thyme. I also popped some chamomile seeds in here around the sage, but they have not popped up yet. Tons of strawberry flowers on the big plants from last year, so that's exciting. And the new plants are doing well. Oh, there's a weed. Weeds pop out so easy. It's exciting. Other bean plants doing well. Again, these bags are the bush beans, so they won't need a trellis or anything. Garlic looking great. And I can see potato plants in every one of the potato bags. This one's a little harder to see just because there's the purple potatoes, so the leaves have got a bit of purple. I believe the ones in the center are my red potatoes, and then these I believe are the yellow tulips I need to deadhead, but they are spent. However, my irises have started to put off some flower heads, so it won't be long till those are open. You can even see the purple tip on this one. So the irises are coming. Moving on to the tomato and pepper bed. my tomatoes look a little rough and they're going to get a little bit of pruning, but I didn't want to prune them before they'd had a chance to have a week or so of growth. So you can see the new growth is so much darker green than the older growth. So that's exciting. They are doing well, even though they're still small. Those were the triple crop. This is the Abe Lincoln. This is the Amana. Dr. Witchy, I would think it was dead if it didn't have the new growth on it, because it's just not going anywhere, but it's still growing, putting off new growth. This is the Bonnie Best. Paul Robeson. Black Beauty. Another Black Beauty. And then the two Black Elephant. These guys are getting close to being able to be tied onto the trellis. All right, the jalapeno peppers here on the end. I'm just going to assume that jalapeno peppers grow on a much smaller stalk than bell peppers. Those are much younger plants, but they grow kind of differently, so I'm thinking they're smaller. There's the orange bell. Had a little bit of pest pressure on these two, so I think I'm going to get out the neem oil today and spray it down this evening. And then the back row is the King of the North, which is the red bell. Moving on to our Brussels sprouts. They are doing great, getting really big. Finally. And even the little one in the back that has just been teeny tiny has finally got a little bit of size to it. So I forgot to point out the Purple Lady bok choy last week. It's so hard for me to see with the sun shining, but I'm pretty sure it's in frame there. That one's looking good. This one over here had some pest pressure, so it's just got one leaf left, but I think it's doing okay. So I forgot to point those out last week. They are growing. And then the tatsoi out here. I love the growth pattern on this. It's such a pretty flower pattern. Here is the other reason. This bed's always in the shade when I do these. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see the netting that's stretched over this bed, but that's because my dog decided to make it his own salad bar. So as we go through here and I show you my purple of Sicily that's growing so nice there, you'll notice that there's none there and there's none there. These were my two biggest purple of Sicily cauliflower plants, and they became a snack for my dog. He just jumped in and ate them right out. I don't know what got into him, but there's another one. So I do have new seeds popped in there, but they'll be a ways behind if they make it at all. You're starting to see the little nasturtium popping out there, so they are coming back. Marigolds, don't see a nasturtium there yet, but marigold. This marigold's setting a flower. There's my early Wakefield cabbage coming up nice, and the purple cabbage. Purple cabbage back there is so pretty. There's another cabbage plant there, but I don't know. Those are struggling. So another marigold. Oh, here's some more nasturtium coming up. So I hope for those coming back soon. My pink celery, I'm hoping you can see those beautiful stalks. I love the look of that. Sorry, I meant to take this netting down and I kind of forgot it was there. So hopefully it's not messing up the video too bad. The ground cherries are all putting off new growth as well, so that's good. And then the cherry tomatoes on the back. Here's Brad's Atomic, getting close to the trellis. There's another Brad's Atomic up on my porch that I will be planting here. I'll show it to you in a minute. These are the blueberry tomatoes, and again, you can see some of the leaves had damage, but it's got new stuff growing in the middle. More blueberries. Let's see if I can lift this netting so you get a better view. Okay, there's the yellow pear here. Oops. This is the black cherry and another black cherry. This guy's already tied to the trellis. He was huge to start with. This is the Chadwick cherry and the German lunchbox. Those three are already tied up. And then down here on the end, the Amish paste. Again, still really small, but new growth. And then I forgot to show y'all last week how the carrots are coming along. And you can definitely see carrot leaves all the way down now. Some of them are a little more thin than others, but they're definitely growing. Oh gosh, sorry about all the camera movement, guys. You can see them all the way down. Looking really good. This little tray of lettuce is now rocking. Every day I can pick salad from it. Last night, all three of us were able to have a bowl full of salad from this bed alone. I'm also, actually I did take a few leaves from this, also harvesting from the green stalk, harvesting the larger outer leaves as they grow, and allowing the centers to heart, well, they're not going to heart, but allowing them to keep growing. So I would take like this back leaf here tonight. I might take that leaf and leave the rest. Just harvesting the outer leaves. The other things in this are growing. There's one of the Tiny Tim tomatoes. There's another. I think the other one's on the back side. Oh, there it is. Another. So they're growing. I do have to turn this so it gets sun on all sides. I really think those carrots are going to do something. I'm excited about that. This pot down here actually has peanuts planted in it. Have no idea if they will do anything or not, but I had the seed, so I decided I'd try it. The last few things, this pot has loofah gourds in it. I'm going to try those on a trellis somewhere. Haven't figured out where I'm going to put it yet. It's an extra zucchini plant. It's going to my mom. Here is the Brad's Atomic Grape that I'm going to use to fill in. This is an amazing story. It doesn't look like much. Obviously, these outer leaves look pretty sad, but this is all new growth here in the middle. Story on this is I had started this tomato, and it had grown, gotten about a foot tall, and right in the center of the stalk got really weird and thin, and it broke off. And I cut it, and there was still so much stem, I stuck it in this dirt. And I've told you before that tomatoes grow all those hairs on their stalk, and every one of those hairs will turn into a root. I stuck it in the dirt. I didn't try to root it in water first. And the first day it fell over, and I thought, well, that's dead. That didn't work. But then the next day it stood up. And I thought, well, maybe it will work. I set it outside because this plant had already been outside, so I wasn't thinking about the fact that it didn't have any real roots yet. And it fell over again. And I thought, well, for sure I killed it. Brought it back inside, and it stood up again. It's been outside for several days now, and this new stuff is a lot stronger. So that's going to go out in the garden maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But tomatoes are amazing. If you're pruning them and you cut off a branch, you can stick that branch in the ground and make a whole new plant. So just in case you didn't know that, that's my proof. Okay, out here also, this was an experiment of some papaya I saved seeds from, and those are all papaya starts. So that's completely an experiment. My okra, I really don't know what to tell you on my okra, guys. It just isn't changing, and so some of them look really rough. So I'm thinking I might just be putting seeds out in the garden, probably today, just in case, and letting it start from seed, because I don't know, they just look really rough to me. I don't know that they're going to do anything. Look at my radishes. They have really gotten big. They have loved this rain and the warm weather. You can see the second row I added last week has popped up, so I've got the ones that'll be ready for harvest in a couple weeks, and then the new ones starting. So this is how I'm hoping to keep harvest going as long as I can. When I pull the bigger rows, I'll start another row, and so I'll just kind of hopefully be cycling through, having something to harvest every couple weeks out of this bed. I just noticed this tatsoi has really grown a lot in the past few days. And then the lettuce rows, I still have space in between because this is the shadiest part by far. It's shaded by the house almost probably till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's one reason lettuce does well here. But I also didn't want to start another set of seeds just yet. I'm going to wait another week probably before I do that. Okay, let's take a look at the herbs. There's my dill, cumin, parsley. I like how the wind picked up to show them off. This is my sweet Genovese basil. Dark purple opal basil is looking much stronger this week than it did last week. Thai sweet basil, which grows completely different than the others. Cinnamon basil. And holy basil. My blackberry plant out here has really put off some leaves. I haven't seen any sign of the seeds I planted in the ground around this, so again, that was experimental. Nothing might come of that, but blackberry plant's looking good. Here along the edge of the shed, that's where I put the seeds for the Swiss chard and collards. And I think I might have some growth, but this right here is not. This is the bane of my existence. Bindweed or morning glory, wild morning glory. I come out here and I pull starts of that out 5 times a day. Here is what I think may be starts of my Swiss chard or collards. It's in the right area, but I'm not sure. I'm waiting for them to actually put off some real leaves so I can tell what they are. That is more bindweed. There's another one. So it is coming up, I think. So that's good. I was wondering, we've had a lot of rain, and this building does not have a gutter. As you can see, that long trench. Oh, there's another bindweed. Oh, I hate those things. This long trench is where the water falls off the roof. We desperately need to get a gutter on this building. This area should look a little different this week. We've done a lot. I'll start down here on the bottom row. The beans are growing well. They haven't gotten a lot taller yet, but they do have a lot of little starts of new leaves. It's really shaded down here, but I'll show you the new things we planted. This one, it might be too dark. There we go. That is a very, very light colored shoot, and it was very small when I put it out. I may have to reseed that, and I need to put some more because I only got one start off of that. I'm going to do probably 2 more seeds down this row here in front. Sugar baby bush watermelon. And then down here I have 3 honeydew starts, and they seem to be doing well. These beans have got a little bit of, I don't know what going on. The leaves are a little stripy. Hopefully they're okay. Just keeping an eye on them. You can see kind of the same situation up here. This is the, how would you say it, Blåhilde pole. They're the purple potted beans. They're the ones that look the worst for the wear, but they do have new growth shoots on them, so I'm just hoping they're okay. And then up here, here, and here. Those are spaghetti squash starts. The rest of the beans up here you've seen, they're doing well. And this is just this one and the one down here on the end. These are just the decorative gourds, the small gourds like you'd put as a centerpiece on your table at Thanksgiving. On this side of the trellis is where I've got my other squash and pumpkins. So these with the big leaves are a Big Max pumpkin. And then the ones with the skinnier leaves back there, it's harder to get there, but they are sugar pie pumpkins. This is a Long Island cheese pumpkin, which sometimes is called the Cinderella pumpkin. It's called Long Island cheese because it is shaped like a wheel of cheese. It's flat and a lighter color, orange or peach. And then over here, these smaller plants are butternut squash. So up here, this should be completely covered in squash and pumpkin leaves. Not too long. We just put down a thin layer of mulch to help the soil from drying out and give them something to lay on, reflect back some of the light. Because as you can see in the early morning, part of this is shaded, but it does get quite a bit of sun during the rest of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around this long, I know these are long, but again, I'm keeping track of my garden each week for myself just to see how it progresses, and because I'm learning this year. This size garden is way new to me, and so I'm learning what's working and what's not, and what I can do better next year. See you next week.